Welcome to the Lindis Podcast Studio here in my basement. Now, a couple weeks ago, you guys might remember, we had on 3 very successful female athletes who were freshmen this past season at Richmond. This week, it's the boys' turn to talk. So we are here with Mr. Trennon Ortner. Trennon was a halfback on the freshman football team. Defense on hockey, where he played varsity, honorable all conference, honorable mention all conference, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, as a freshman, that's pretty darn cool. And then in track this spring, I got to watch him run the 1 and 200, so that's pretty neat. Over here, we have McCoy Monson. Now, McCoy started off the year as the freshman team quarterback, so obviously you two have a relationship, him handing you the ball, so you guys know each other well. Mm-hmm. And then in basketball, McCoy played a lot of varsity at the 2 guard, I'm going to say, it's a little bit of point guard, but also played one half of each of the JV games, right? Yeah. So he had a lot of experience this year, and I think both of you had very successful seasons. So let's just let's talk about your experience as freshmen, you guys. And it's weird when we think about it. You're already getting ready to go into your sophomore year. You guys are already getting ready for football here. It starts in probably, a month and a half, if that. And so already a quarter of your high school career is gone. That's 1/4.
Good math. It is indeed.
You're welcome. Anyways, McCoy, welcome.
Hello.
We're going to start actually right with you. Do you remember the moment when you realized that varsity was different from middle school or JV, and what made the light bulb go off in your head and go, wow, this is a lot different. This is a much higher level?
Well, I think for me, it was honestly like before even the season started, it was just a lot more work. Like you had to show up to like team meetings and stuff, and then like going in and watching film before the first game. It just felt a lot more like high level. It didn't feel like you were just going and playing a 5-on-5. It felt very business-like. And then obviously getting into the game, it was like I was out of breath after 3 minutes. It's much faster paced. And especially when you have a coach who wants you to run and you're the guard. So running, it was a lot of running, and that was kind of just how I knew it was not middle school basketball anymore.
Sure. What about at the high school level on football? What was the big difference there?
Similar. Like we had a lot of film, and so it obviously felt more like business-like again. But I don't know, freshman football, it was pretty similar from the game aspect of middle school, but it was just felt more business-like when we were watching film and doing all that stuff.
Cool. Over here, Mr. Trennon Ortner. Trennon, you tell me, do you remember that moment when you realized, there was going to be a big difference from middle school or JV when you went out there on varsity and you just kind of said, wow, this is a completely different level? For you, it happened at the same time of the year. I mean, it happened in November right away. You came up and you were one of the 6 defenders there in hockey. So tell me, when did that moment happen for you?
Well, I mean, it was just like a lot more on your plate, like when it comes to like showing up for everything. You don't want to like let your teammates down or anything. So you just got to like show up on time for everything and give it 100% all the time. Like no giving it half or anything, like 100%. And like if you don't give 100%, then your teammates will pick up on that, and you got to give it your all at all times. Cuz like I feel like unlike middle school, like kind of like you got more like joking around and stuff like that, but then like once you get to the high school level, you really got to lock in at all times.
Sure. So that's going to bring up the next question, and I'm going to start this one with you just to parlay off of what you just said there. When you are a freshman and you're playing alongside juniors and seniors, how do you earn the respect from those older teammates without trying to be somebody you're not?
Well, just be yourself and give 100%. Like just be yourself and show like that you are like a varsity player, not just a freshman. Like it's varsity, not freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. It's like varsity, like just varsity.
Absolutely. So good answer. McCoy, I'm going to ask you the same question. When you're a freshman, you're playing alongside those. I mean, you got there were. I mean, Dane Lease, Nick Stelright. I mean, hey, you got to take the court with Carter Comroe. Come
Indeed,
on.
I did.
How cool is
Yes,
that?
indeed.
So what for you did you feel you had to do to earn their respect and most importantly, their trust of the older teammates? But again, we go back to you got to be you. So how do you do that?
Well, for me, it was always just about going out and competing and giving it everything I've got, no matter if it was just a drill or if it was in a game. Just giving it everything I've got, going out there, being a competitor to kind of build a trust, knowing that they know that I care and that I'm going to do everything I can do to make the team better. And so you gradually grow trust and build chemistry over time. And so I think I just went out there, I did my best, and I competed at a high level, and it just kind of went from there.
Do you have any idea how many points you scored this year?
I think it was 349, maybe about 350,
Really?
something like that. Yeah.
350 points as a freshman. Think of that, you guys. That's getting it done. It certainly was a lot of fun to watch you out there this year, and I look forward to getting to see 3 more years of that. So, Trennon, I have to ask you, do you know what your plus minus was this year
Plus minus.
on defense?
Couldn't tell you, to be honest.
Hockey?
It was definitely a plus, but couldn't tell you what exactly it was. But
Richmond is in a transition year this year in hockey, and you're one of those important members that's coming back for the next year. You've met the new coach.
Yeah.
You've had a couple practices with him, I understand.
yeah, one.
Do we
had
have
one
ice in Richmond, or are you having to go somewhere
no,
else?
Somerset.
You're going to Somerset. Okay, so their Somerset system is back up and going this year, and we'll be using that. And they took the ice out in Richmond. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So at one practice, what do you think so far?
I mean, I really like him. I really like how fast he is, and like he's just always on top of stuff, always like making sure you're doing the right drills correctly and correcting you and keep holding you accountable at all times.
It's kind of a neat, and I'll get back to asking you guys questions in a second, but it's kind of a neat lineage. For those of you that don't know, the new hockey coach in Richmond, his father was a very successful hockey coach in Minnesota. His brother is now coaching, I believe, where his father coached, actually.
Yes.
Rosemount, and actually took them the state this year, and now comes in the youngest son. Maybe we've seen this before in Western Wisconsin, where dad's very successful, older brother's very successful in his own regards, and then the youngest comes in and that would be the head football coach here, Reggie Larson. So I'm very excited to meet Mr. Sainty, and I think he's going to do some really great things for Richmond. So good for him. Sorry, I went off on that little tangent there. That McCoy, you had the unique situation of an overtime basketball game for a regional championship. In overtime, you hit some big shots. That was pretty neat to see. But did you ever feel the pressure of knowing that people were watching to see if a freshman belonged on varsity? How did you handle that pressure that you're coming down the court and maybe you're on the off wing side and you have seniors like a Dane Lease, who's a great shooter, or a Nick Stelright who could drive to the hoop and do a lot of things? How did you handle that pressure of, no, I'm getting the ball and I'm shooting? How did that go for you?
For me, it all came down to my preparation. Just, I've been playing basketball for a long time, so I just needed to trust in myself in those moments and know that I belonged on the court at that time. And I think my coaches, Coach Allen and Cam Jusak, they did a great job trusting in me and giving me the ball in like big situations like that and having the trust that I would make the right decision. And so that's really all I needed to really lock it in and do well in those situations.
Did you ever meet Coach Allen's father?
I did not, no.
He's one of my friends. He's a good guy. I like him. Okay, Trennon, I'm going to ask you the same thing. Did you ever feel pressure knowing that people were watching to see if as a freshman you belonged on varsity because they wanted to see if you'd crack or not? How did you handle that pressure?
I felt like the pressure was like more coming from like the coaches and the players. I wasn't too worried about like the fans as much, but like just showing how like to the coaches and your teammates and everything that you're like belong there and that you can be just as good as everyone else even though you're just a freshman.
Yeah. Again, it's so interesting because both of you stepped in and made major contributions right away, and in a school in Richmond size, that's very rare. So in two, I call them key sports, it's interesting to hear how you guys dealt with that. I'm going to keep this one with you, Trennon, so you can go first on this one.
Yeah.
What's the best piece of advice a coach, a senior teammate, or a parent gave you during your first varsity season?
Definitely just play your game. Like if you go to play someone else's game, it's gonna mess with your game, and then you're just gonna like you could either fold or like mess up like continuously, and you just gotta focus more on the positives and stay with your game so you can just keep going and give it your all.
We're going to ask you the same question. What's the best piece of advice a coach, senior teammate, or parent gave you during this last year?
I have some smart coaches and a lot of good mentors, and they definitely gave me a lot of great advice and, taught me a lot as I went. But I think one that really just was the difference in our basketball season was just, like, bringing energy and joy to the team. And, like, when you're down, they would just tell you to, put a smile on your face. And kind of that energy that the team had and the overall joy that we had when we went out there was, I think, a big part of our success. And so for me, that was a big piece of advice, was just go out there, have fun, put a smile on your face, and enjoy the moment.
Gibby, who's sitting off the camera here, I'm a little disappointed. Now, this is 5 high school athletes. Not a one of them said that their parents told them to make their bed or finish their milk. So, I mean, I'm a little disappointed by that. But we're going to go with that. McCoy, now that you have that first year under your belt where you got to experience varsity as a freshman, what goals have you set for yourself over the next 3 years? Now, we're going to break this down because, first off, I want to hear what your goals are for the next 3 years in football.
Well, for football, I mean, obviously this year, well, there's a shortage like in the quarterback position right now. There's only 3 guys, including me. So, I mean, I'm just going to go out there and compete. Obviously, going to compete for a varsity spot. You never know what's going to happen. Obviously, Luke Quaddy and Preston Hitty are the 2 above me, and they're really talented as well. So it's going to be good to just go out there and compete, and I just want to be the best athlete I can be in that sport and bring as much to the table as I can for New Richmond football.
So let's talk about basketball, which I'm assuming that's your favorite sport.
Yeah, that's my main sport.
I mean, that's the one you put because I've been told that if the gym would be open 24 hours a day, you could literally spend 18 hours in there shooting. So what goals have you set for yourself over the next 3 years?
Well, I think the first one is obviously like I want to be an 1,000-point scorer, but I think a bigger one for me would be like to become, by the end of my career, to be like all conference and to be maybe conference player of the year, like by my senior year. And just, I think that another good goal for me, obviously you want to go to state for basketball. Like there's just a lot of goals like that where you just want to be successful and you want to make an impact on the basketball program as a whole. And then for, the youth, make an impact there so that they can be good for years to come as well.
I've been going to the state basketball tournament every year that there's been one down there since 2006. And I can tell you that this was the first time I got to watch a team from St. Croix County play on the Cole Center floor. Yep. I want that to change.
Yeah, St. Croix Central.
And and I want it to be black and orange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yep. And I want them to be from St. Croix County. So can I narrow it down any more for you?
I think I got.
You think you got her figured out? Yeah. Okay. You might have one of their shirts on right now. That's the team I want to see play on the hardwood down there at the Cole.
Okay.
Okay, Trennon, What's your goal in football?
Football, definitely since we have Austin Whittick, senior now, so definitely just learn as much as I can from him, and once he leaves, try and step up and pretty much try to be as the best I possibly can, like learning from him and just keep going in his footsteps and keep getting better.
Track and field.
Track, still have Austin and Ben Hepner, he's only a year older than me, but definitely just keep improving 100%, and definitely did track and field just to improve my speed for football and stuff, because definitely love football and hockey, and it'll definitely get me faster, way faster. So
Okay, let's talk about your main sport, hockey. How do you as a defender set goals after blowing most athletes' goals out of the water as a freshman? How do you set your goals going into your sophomore year as to what you want to do?
Being honorable mentions, definitely got to get to the next level of second team all conference, or first team all team conference. But there's always room for improvement. So even to get to the next level, like college hockey and juniors, just to keep improving, because there's always room for improvement.
That's right. It's about constant improvement every day. Speaking of which, we do need pictures of each of you, 5x7, so that they can go on the wall. So you guys are responsible for getting us pictures that we can put on the wall. Okay.
Yep.
And we need some other ones too, because as of right now, if you look at the wall that you guys can't see on camera, we have a picture of G Money. And we had one of Mr. Wolf, but we just kept laughing, so we took it down. not very flattering, but anyways. Okay, Trennon, we're going to keep it with you here. This is one of the last questions I'm going to have for you. If you could go back to the first day of practice and whatever sport you want to choose, that's up to you. But if you could go back and give advice to yourself, that first day of practice of your freshman year, what would you say to yourself right now?
I was definitely nervous at the time. Like, I'd go back and definitely say, like, don't be nervous. There's no reason to be. Like, you can literally, like, just go and be yourself pretty much. And, like, by the end of the season, I knew all my teammates really well, and they didn't care at all that I was a freshman at the end of the year, and I thought they'd care really bad, but they really don't care at all. So I feel like if I would have just went back and I would have started, like, without being nervous or anything, then I could have just been, like, 100% from the beginning instead of working up to 100% by, like, halfway through the season or something like that. Like, I could be 100% from the beginning.
That's great advice. That it kind of goes back to everything you guys have talked about. You got to be you, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? These seniors, yeah, they've done it 3 more years, but there was a time when they had their first practice too, and so that's pretty important to go back. Okay, McCoy, your last question. Then we're gonna do some fun ones, I think, before we go. Gibby, where are we at for time here? If you could go back to that first day of any of your sports, that first freshman year practice, what advice would you give yourself?
Definitely just find joy in everything that you're doing, because it's going to go quick, and this freshman season definitely went quick, but it was super fun. And I think that if I would have gone in there with a better mindset of, even though, practice is going to be hard and there's going to be difficulties, if you can find joy in it all, then you'll be set and you'll look back on every season as a success.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, you guys. We're going to finish this up with a couple fun questions here that now that I got you here, we're going to ask you quickly. Vikings or Packers?
Vikings.
Neither. But if I had to choose, I'd choose Packers.
Get out. Okay. Well, okay. Hey, high fives on that one, buddy.
Right.
I like it. We're watching sports. Are we watching college sports or pro sports?
College.
Great answers there too. I'm going to say this as you get to be older, like Gibby is, and I'm approaching that age. you also can add in there, would you rather watch high school athletics, college, or pro? And I tell people all the time, I have front row season tickets for the Vikings in US Bank Stadium, and I have they're a lot of fun to get to go to the games. It's a great place to experience. But I'll tell you what, there is something about pulling into Hudson High School on a Friday night in the fall, and you know you're in that town because you can see the football lights are on, or when it's 20 below zero on a Thursday night, and you walk into that gym, you open the doors to Richmond High School, and you can hear the sneakers scuffling on the floor. There's something to be really cool about that, and I hope you guys understand that. You get to be a part of that right now, and that's pretty cool. Trennon, favorite food?
Favorite food? I love pastas, so I got to go with chicken Alfredo.
That's a great choice.
That is a really good answer. Like, that's definitely up there for me. But I don't know. I like wings. I like pizza, burgers, all that kind of food.
I like everything. Imagine that. I like everything they said. Imagine that. Okay. Who's the better cook, your mom or your dad?
My mom, 100%.
Yeah, definitely my mom. But my dad, he actually made up some chicken the other night that was really good. So he's not bad, but my mom for sure.
Okay. You just had a really tough game. Things didn't go your way. Maybe you got a penalty and somebody scored on Richmond when that happened. Maybe you missed a couple three-pointers in a row at the end of the game that could have tied it or won it for Richmond. You just had a really bad game. Who's the first person you want to see and talk to?
Well, I don't know. I mean, usually I talk to either Cam or Alan, like right after a game like that. They usually can calm me down or get me back into a good headspace. And then obviously going home, talking usually to my dad, just to debrief a little bit about what happened and kind of get my confidence back a little bit and understand that happens in sports and in life in general.
So how many times in the course of a season do you guys have to talk to Coach Allen to calm him down?
Honestly, never. I mean,
please.
I think I've only seen him get mad one time, and it was actually just like this summer. Like last year, he's a crazy guy, but he never got mad at us. So
I'll tell you what, we had him in here, and it was the first time I met him is when he was in here for a podcast with us. And listening to him talk, I literally wanted to leave here and go up to the high school and shoot baskets. I was a wrestler.
Energy.
And I was a wrestler. Okay, buddy, you just had a tough game. And I didn't mention this to McCoy, but it's got to be somebody that's not a coach. Who do you want to talk to first?
Mine would be my grandpa. He's definitely always the person I'd go to, especially during tough times for me. So
that's you guys, both of them are awesome answers. Absolutely awesome answers. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. I would like to thank tonight's guests, Trennon Ortner, okay, McCoy Monson. I appreciate you guys coming in tonight. Is there any questions you have for me before we go?
I just heard that you were a 500-pound wrestler, but
yeah, that was kind of hard to explain to the. Really, you're gonna laugh at that? Thanks. Yep. No, I said I was a 500 wrestler, and one of them goes, "You weighed 500 pounds?" No, that's not. I thought maybe it was that. Well, anyways, you guys, two very talented members of. Well, now you're the sophomore class in Richmond. Again, Trennon Ortner and McCoy Monson. Guys, thanks for coming in. Everybody, please like and subscribe if you like what we're doing here on the Scrib and Gid podcast. And if you have any ideas for us, by all means, email us, and we would love to show up at events and do things like that. Thank you, everybody, and thanks for all of our sponsors who really didn't get a mention tonight, but they are in the upper corner of your screen. Please thank them as well. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Brink is out.